What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters? I'm One Eyebrow, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 7. So spoiler warning, obviously, for Fear the Walking Dead, the series as a whole, but a little bit of Walking Dead, spoiler warning for sure. But we're going to give a little review, recap, breakdown, what's up with this necklace right here. We're going to talk about it. But overall, Season 6, Episode 7 of Fear the Walking Dead was another good episode. I don't know if it was a great mid-season finale. It was weird because it was the 7th episode and not the 8th. That's usually what it is. But it focused on Alicia. Also, did you notice the music was a little different during this opening sequence? But the episode started with a deer, a dead deer, and a walker eating the deer. And it focuses on the eye. And I'm guessing that's what these eyes in the walkers were. Animal eyes. I mean, I don't know what has a blue eye and a green eye and a yellow eye and this eye, but the walkers didn't have their own eyes. They were taken out. So how are they seeing? How are they getting around? I guess by just stumbling and bumbling and getting around somewhat. I mean, some had their eyes, but a lot didn't. And then we see Dakota in the car with Strand, the Rangers, and there's a lot of Rangers here. I mean, and they got taken out. So Jenny's losing people left and right. One of the biggest things I noticed here was that Dakota seems unfazed. She knows what's going on. She's very smart, and she knows that Strand planned to go against her sister. I love the comment that she says, these are toy soldiers. They are pretty useless, right? They haven't really done much, but they killed a walker here and there, and if they had to go against another group, I don't think they would do very well. But Dakota talks about things where like she knows what she's doing. I wonder if she's going to end up being a bigger character than she is this season, maybe a villain, but I'm kind of excited to see how it goes down. But clearly Dakota has no allegiance to Virginia. And then we see the horse come back around. Strand gets on the horse and him and the other ranger go away. But all these other people are gone. That's a big loss. These are the only two people that survived the caravan. Of course, Dakota, but the way the tree was cut down and the fact that we found out later on that it was Morgan. Is that a callback to The Walking Dead in season 7 when Dwight did the same thing to block the road, to cause a detour, to cause some problems? The way the horses came back, it reminded me of like a horror movie where like, where's the rider? Where's the bunch of riders? And I have to say, these horses that they use in the Walking Dead universe are pretty smart and well trained. I mean, they just stop right there like they're trained actors. And yes, I know they're trained horses, but they do a great job. All these people right here were rangers and they were taken out. And how did Morgan take all those people out? They had guns, but Morgan can do it all. Strand and the other ranger, they survived. And then we see the opening and we see Alicia with Charlie. And they're in the watchtower. And they're here for like 6 weeks. That's got to be pretty boring. I mean, what are they doing here? They're just watching walkers. Nothing's going on here at all. Then we see the map. We see a key. We see different cities on the map. And I guess, is that Lawton? Not sure, but this watchtower is pretty cool, but what's the point of it? It seems to be in the middle of nowhere. We see one walker and then they put an X on the map. So we know that Alicia later on was trying to find a way to get back to the stadium. And I guess that's what this represents, but it's hard to tell because it happened so fast. The calls over the radio, the calls over the radio, the calls over the radio. So we know that Alicia is not happy with Strand. And that's the way it is in the episode at the end as well. I could see Alicia and Strand going against each other, but we'll have to see. Strand, in my eyes, needs to die on the show. He needs to do something heroic and he can leave. We have too many cast members here. But either way, Alicia meets up with Strand and Strand convinces her to go find Dakota. And of course she does, like that. But the plan is, you see the damage on the back window, so there was some gunfire and some stuff there. I don't know how the SUV was parked like that unless Strand and the other ranger moved it out of the way to hide it. But unless Dakota really parked it, she backed it in. She's like, we're here. But Alicia and Charlie find Buck's Landing. And I have to say, that's a red sign, right? A red sign. You know what I'm talking about. Alicia gets into the Buck's Landing hunting lodge. She sees the radio right there. She'll use it later. She hears the music playing. We see a yellow flashlight. Caution. Caution, caution, Alicia. We hear the music playing and we see all these straps on this walker. That's a ranger from Jenny's community. We meet Ed. He stabs Alicia. And right here, I was like, oh, what? But it was just something to knock her out. She wakes up. close up of her eyes. Then we see all the taxidermy stuff, and we're like, this is weird. This is pretty weird. We see the bloody eyeball jar that I guess is deer eyes or animal eyes, right? I think he's saving them and putting them in the walkers. Alicia is tied up, but there's not that many straps on her. Is that by design or a mistake? Dakota is in the building. She's not scared at all. Alicia finds Dakota, I have to say pretty easily, by the way. And then Ed's like, whoa, we're okay here. We got off on the wrong foot. And Alicia's like, you stabbed me. And he's like, yeah, with a thing to track animals. So you're like, nah, it's not okay. But either way, they go into the game room. They're listening to music. They're playing all this music. They play a lot of music on The Walking Dead, I have to say. And then they play chess. That is definitely symbolic. That's for sure. The pawns, the chess moves, the strategy, the battle strategy for sure. Did you pick up what happened right here? Ed says the Queen's Gambit. And I had to look this up. But it says the white is trying to exchange his wing pawn for the center pawn of the black pieces, I guess is the move. And I'm not sure if it matters if it's white pieces or black pieces, but that's what it says online. If this is done, then white proceeds to dominate the center with his king pawn. So chess, strategy, pawns go first. You know, some strategy in battle here. Also, Dakota said that her dad taught her. And then we find out that Virginia killed their parents. So I'm guessing that Dakota is never going to get over that. Well, how could you, right? And why Virginia did it, we still don't know. But I find it interesting, the information that we saw and found out about the chess game. Then we see that Charlie came in the house, and I was like, yeah, what happened to Charlie? You're going to be hanging out in the house, and she's hanging around outside. She could be in danger. Then Alicia talks to Virginia over the radio, and she sets up a deal. She's trying to work out something where it's like, we get Dakota back, we're going to get our freedom. It's a great shot of the residual limb. Done pretty well. They do a great job in the Walking Dead universe. Virginia's like, okay, sounds good. She just wants her sister back. And man, this is some chess moves right here. What to do with Dakota. Morgan wants to do this. Alicia wants to do this. Strand wants to do this. All revolves around Dakota. Ed turns it up to 11, blasting some beats. Did you look at the speakers? I have to say, they are some red, well, they're faded, but red speakers playing some music for some reason to draw the walkers to the building. Why would you want to do that? Doesn't make any sense, but Ed's a little crazy. They're bringing the walkers back here, and they're banging on the doors. There's so many of them, and then they go away. You could tell by the music that they were leaving based on the music. I don't know how they could see, but more of that in a second. Dakota and Alicia go up into the bedroom. They're talking. Dakota was like, I should have just kept driving, but I want to get away from my sister. Charlie comes to the rescue, gives Alicia her weapon and a radio, and it happens super quick that Charlie still has some of the medicine in a syringe that can come back around later on this season. The plan is to turn the music off, wait for the walkers to go away, and then they're going to escape. Well, Ed's got plans. He comes back around only to fall on a piece of the chair with the antler, the horn, goes into his side. But I'm guessing it's the bottom of this chair right here. You can see them sticking out. It gets knocked over. Ed falls right on it. It impales him. Kind of reminded me of Rick a little bit. See the piece sticking out? I know it was on the other side, but we haven't really seen that too much where stuff is sticking out of the body. Then we see this walker right here when Morgan comes in and saves the day. Look at the eyes. He has no eyeballs. How's he getting around? But Morgan comes and saves the day, takes out Walker and another Walker, and he takes out all these walkers. Pretty awesome stuff. Alicia joins in, and just the walkers look great. Look at that one walker right there with the thing sticking out of his arm. Pretty cool stuff. Alicia and Morgan are reunited, and Alicia's like, how? How are you alive? How are you here? And Morgan's like, I heard the music. Kind of funny. But you have to ask the question, how did you get saved? Who saved you? And we still don't know. He doesn't even know. And I guess if Dakota saved him, it would have came up. So we're striking out there too, maybe. But they bury Ed. Morgan talks with Alicia and Dakota. And I thought it was pretty funny when Morgan was like, yeah, Emil's not coming back around anymore. And this conversation right here has everybody talking because Alicia wants to go back to the stadium from season 4. And who was involved with the stadium? Madison. So that has everybody talking about Madison being back at the stadium. And if our group goes back to the stadium, Madison could still be there. And maybe. I think it's wishful thinking, but you never know. I still think she's gone, but nobody's gone till they're gone. It could happen, but we'll have to see. Then Alicia and Morgan talk inside the hunting lodge. Morgan's taking everything he can out of there. Morgan and Alicia are basically talking about what to do. And I find it interesting when Morgan felt his chest around his heart. I feel like he's not doing so well still. He's not clearly out of the woods yet, and he may have to go to the hospital that Virginia has built or started building or something, hopefully with June, Luciana, and Sarah. So he may need to be saved at the hospital later on in the season. But we'll have to see. That's just a hypothesis right now. But Alicia and Morgan are talking, and Morgan wants to use Dakota to get back Grace and Daniel and everybody in Lawton. And Morgan just wants all his people back. And Virginia just wants Dakota back. Kind of sounds like the deal at the Grady Memorial situation, right? But we find out that Morgan was the one that attacked the Rangers, and Strand wasn't there, so we didn't see that happen. But Alicia's like, you did it. You were the one that was there. And Morgan gets stuff done. We gotta love him. But Alicia's like, no, you're gonna use Dakota for something else. I want to use Dakota for this. It's not gonna work. But I'm glad that Morgan was like, all right, I can't let you do that. I can't let you leave. He just wants everybody back together. And Dakota is the piece that's going to be used at some point to get everyone back and get rid of Virginia. Hopefully, but that'll be next year. And then Strand goes to the hunting lodge and finds the necklace on the ground or on a walker or something. And it had a lot of people wondering, like, what was up with this necklace? We saw the necklace before, but why was there on the ground? Alicia, Dakota, and Charlie come out of the building, and Strand's like, yes, you found her. I knew you would do it. And Strand is like, yes, I'm saved now. Let's go back to Lawton. I'm going to take you back to your sister. And again, it all revolves around Charlie. Morgan, Alicia, and Strand all want something different with Dakota. Then Morgan comes out there like the hero and the badass he is. And Strand's like, oh, okay, I'm just not going to be that easy for you, right? And I thought something was going to go down here, but I kind of wished it did. It'd be pretty awesome. But Strand's got a gun, and he takes it out, and he points it at everybody. And I think nobody wants to hurt each other here. They are part of the same group, but I kind of wish some things happened here. Maybe it will in the second half of season 6, right? Like I said before, if Strand goes, I'm okay with it. Personally, I would like to see that. I know some people like Strand. I don't think he's okay. He's a decent character. But we have way too many characters on the show, and somebody's got to go. But let's break down the necklace a little bit, right? Strand has it in his hand, and Alicia takes it back. And she says to him, I'm just doing what you told me to. And we're like, what? What do you mean by that? St. Christopher, protect us. Yep, there it is right there. St. Christopher, protect us. And this is from season 6, episode 2, and Strand gave it to Alicia. So I'm guessing Alicia was going to leave it there. Like, I'm done with this. I don't need this. Because Strand gave it to her in season 6, episode 2. But Strand said this to Alicia. I need to forget who I am. But you don't. Please. Whatever happens, don't you ever forget. And I believe that's what Strand was talking about to Alicia. And that's what Alicia said to him. I'm just doing what you told me to do. But Strand lets everybody leave. Morgan's like, yeah, that's about right. You ain't going to stop us. And then the shot right here is very telling. Strand is at an open doorway, a crossroads. What's he going to do? He goes back to Lawton and he talks to Virginia, right? That's where it's all going down. Lawton. We haven't seen really any other community but Lawton. Virginia goes and talks to Strand and the other ranger. And Strand's like, yep, Dakota is safe with Morgan. So I know Morgan's alive. And I just love the picture right here of those nostrils. Which side are you on, Strand? Yours. And that's all it took, was Strand to be confident and to say, I'm on your side. And then we see these two useless guys. These are the most useless people I've ever seen in The Walking Dead. They do nothing. They haven't done anything, right? And then Ginny does the secret knock on the door. They open it. And I'm guessing they covered this up because John Dory was a ranger there, a lawman, a cop, a police officer. And he might have snooped around and found what they were hiding here. But I love this picture too. But the fact that they're hiding Grace in here makes you go, why are they doing this? Grace is pregnant. She's not like a super powered individual. But either way, they swing open the bookshelf and the shelves to have a doorway there. Strand looks on. And I wonder if Strand's actually going to flip against our group. Or is it all a plan to actually go against Virginia? Virginia walks in, Strand follows, and we see Grace. And we also see a red book right there too. If you know this channel, you know what that may represent. But Strand looks on and we see Grace. And Strand's not really nice to Grace. He's like, yeah. And Virginia's like, get up. And Strand just goes along with it. Yep, do as you're told. Get up. And you just see Strand, like, is he totally on Virginia's side? I could see that, but Strand's a flip-flopper. He's going to do whatever he thinks is right to keep him alive. And Grace has been here the whole time. This has got to be pretty terrible to live in this little box. But either way, Strand asks Ginny, what do you want next? Or who do you want next? Everybody. Dun dun dun. And that's the way the episode ends. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. And if you're not a subscriber, guys, please support us by hitting that subscribe button. Thank you, guys. Stay safe and tell them, Daryl.
No, we love you guys. Honestly, thank you.